Hi, and welcome back to Dummy Variables and this beginner series for Python. I'm Jacob, this is my software developer friend Nick, and today we're talking about Boolean operations.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be looking at three things: and, or, and not. So let's get into it. You can you've probably seen these already, right? Like you've got an idea of what they are.
Right, yeah, with and I can like combine two statements, and if both of them are true at the same time, it should return true, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So statements, conditions, similar to what we've just been looking at recently. So that's going to be stuff like x is less than y, this is equal to that, those sorts of things. So how about we write? Let's make two variables, and let's just make them numbers.
All right. So x equals 5, y equals 13.
Yeah, and you can make a simple if one of them is greater than the other or something like that. Just a simple little.
Okay, so if x is larger than y, print out this statement. No, this statement? No, this. If x is smaller than y, so if 5 is smaller than 13, then it's true. So this is true.
Yeah, fine, sure thing. So we all know how this works. You can run it if you like, but we're going to immediately move on. So we're going to need, maybe to make this make sense, let's make another variable. So maybe let's make z.
Another number. Right.
Another number.
99.
Exactly. So x is less than y. That is true at the moment. But what if we might want to check something about the relationship between y and z as well? So if we want to make sure that x is less than y and y is less than z, so we're testing that y is in the middle, one way to do this would be to use the and word.
So I'm just going to put this in here. Oh, small.
Yeah, that's right, lowercase. X is less than y and y is less than z. So what that means is y is between x and z. You can run that. That's going to be true.
Yep.
And so obviously we've got four situations here. We've got the situation where the left is true and the right is true. We've got the left is true and the right is false. The left is false, the right is true, and the left is false, and the right is also false. And so in how many of those situations is this print statement actually going to run?
Good question. Well, this statement is just in this instant is gonna be true. I'm not sure I understood your question actually.
Well, maybe you also answered it correctly as well. So if the left side is true and the right side is true, that's when this code runs. But it's possible for the left to be false,
all right,
and the right to be true, and the left to be false, and the right to be false, and neither of those are going to work. And also, if the right is false and the left is true, that is also not going to run. It's only this one situation where they're both true.
Right. This is basic logic, like from the times of Socrates, basically.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know how far back it goes. Probably at least that far. Exactly. So and is just the single case. And how about or? Now let's replace and with or.
Okay.
Exactly. So this is still going to be true, right?
Right, because now it doesn't matter. Either if the left side or the right side is true, it will return. It will be true. The whole statement will be true. And because both of them are true, it's going to return true.
Exactly. So how many of the four cases, is this going to work?
True and true is going to work.
Yeah.
True and false is going to work. False and true is going to work. But false and false won't work.
Perfect. So, 3 of them.
Right.
Excellent. Well done. So one thing that you might not know about and or, if the first, so in our or statement right now, so our left side is true.
Mm-hmm.
In that event, the right side, it doesn't matter whether that's true or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So the left side's already true. The right side, Python's not even going to look at it. Python won't actually run that code.
So it's a pretty efficient. It's a horse who jumps only as high as it must. So it's the first one, and then it says I'm fine.
Exactly. So if you start to put more complex things in these if statements, that's really important to know. You need to know whether or not that's being evaluated. So I wanted to mention it here. As soon as it's definitely true, then Python says that's true. I'm stopping here, and that's it can be a trick. It can confuse you if you're new, but it's also a really nice feature that you can use to your advantage. But obviously, that's going to come later when we do more complicated things with that.
Okay.
Exactly, and can you guess what happens in and? Do both sides always need to run?
And?
Yeah.
We did and at the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah, so are both sides of both of these statements always going to run, the left side and the right side?
Oh, let's see. Well, if the first one is false already, it would be obsolete to run the second one, because if there's one false in an AND statement, as we've established earlier, it will return false.
That's exactly right. So the left side is always going to be run, but the right side, it depends. So if we're using an AND, the left side will be the only one that runs if that evaluates to false.
Okay.
Make sense?
Makes sense.
Cool. So there's one more of these and it's not. So the or and the and, they've taken two arguments, so to speak. They've got the left side and the right side, and you need to compare those to see the result. The not, that just takes one. So we can get rid of this and just write not and then a condition. So feel free to write something here.
Not y equals, not y equals z, for example.
Excellent. And we'll just put our colon in there at the end.
All right.
So the not, all it does, it waits for the evaluation of whether this is true or false. And once it's done that, it just reverses the result. It doesn't do anything other than that. All it does is swap the answer after the answer has been evaluated.
All right. Okay.
So talk me through what's going to happen in this little condition here.
Well, let's roll it up from the back. So we have got a condition, which is y equals z, which is obviously not true, as 13 is not the same as 99. But we have the not in front of that. So not reverses that, like you just told me. So this would return... so in the brackets, the condition would be true, actually. And so it would print, this is true.
Excellent. Well done.
Thanks.
That's perfect. That's all I had for this.
Nice. Okay. Then in that case, see you next time. What are we going to learn about next time, Nick?
Next time, we're going to start doing while loops. So our first sense of repetition and automation. So it's going to be an exciting one.
And while you're at it, check out our Discord server where you can ask questions to today's lesson and get to know the community, which currently consists out of 2 people.
Yes, and maybe soon a Discord bot. I might write one. That'll be fun.